Good guy, that Mike Garafolo.
Always great to chat with Mike Garafolo, who is rocking a really good look today. The deep V, which I fully approve of. I only wish we could see a little chest hair poking out, but alas, we'll have to wait for the After Dark version of this program. Mike, great to see you. Week 18, we're here, and 4 divisions up for grabs and 3 head-to-head division matchups this weekend. It's incredible. We start with the AFC North, Ravens-Steelers, Sunday Night Football. We know that the Steelers won't have DK Metcalf. Any update on the Ravens? Could they get Lamar back, Mike?
They could, Jay. The Ravens are optimistic, from what I am told, that Lamar Jackson will be available, but nobody can guarantee that he is going to play. I can't guarantee you that he's going to play. In fact, there was a thought that he would play last week. You remember John Harbaugh at the beginning of the week saying that there's no structural issue, just showed, I believe, what he called a significant bruise, if I'm not mistaken. And then he didn't wind up playing. And this is not the first time with Lamar Jackson that maybe the Ravens had some optimism, or at least the hope that he would play, and then it didn't happen. So we're in the same boat right now. Obviously, it's a much more dire situation for them. Frankly, if you asked a lot of folks in Baltimore what they thought was going to happen in the other game, in the Pittsburgh game, they'd say, well, they were going to beat the Cleveland Browns, so frankly, it wouldn't have mattered what we did in Green Bay. But here we are, and now here you've got the chance to control the situation here. As far as winning this game, you win the AFC North, you get in the postseason. So you're asking me now on a Monday night, I'm going to tell you that I think Lamar is going to play. I don't know. He may not even know. So we'll see how the week goes.
And then the Buccaneers, Mike, this is a team that's lost 7 of their last 8 and still could win their division. It's incredible.
Yeah.
All they have to do is beat a Panthers team that has alternated wins and losses for the past 10 weeks. But what we're wondering, Mike, is should a potential below 500 division winner even host a playoff game?
If you ask the Detroit Lions, they would tell you no, that it should be seeded by record. And why do I say that? Because the Lions were the ones that proposed this offseason a rules change that said, let's seed everybody based on their record. And then there was some thought, well, maybe if you win the division with a above 500 record, you still get to host the game. But if you win the division with a below 500 record, and we've seen that, we could see it this coming weekend if the Buccaneers win the division at 8-9, then you waive the right to potentially host a home playoff game, and then you've got to go on the road, because no matter who winds up winning this division, you're going to face a team with a wild card that's got a much better record, coming from a much tougher division, that is certainly going to be considered the favorite in the game. So I think it started to get some momentum. It didn't pass this last offseason, the Lions' proposal, that is, but I sensed some momentum at these league meetings that occurred both in March and then again in May. So we could see this one revisited. And again, if it winds up being the Bucs at sub 500, I think that's only going to help the momentum to potentially change this.
And then Saturday night, right here on TSN, Mike, you have the Seahawks taking on the 49ers for not only the NFC West title, but the #1 overall seed in the NFC. It's not an elimination game. Obviously, these teams are already in the postseason, but could this be potentially the most important result of the weekend?
It very well could be, because you've got the potential to have to go to Seattle and play there, which I know the Seahawks, that was certainly of the utmost importance for them to regain the home field advantage. They feel like they did that in that Rams game, that it was a tough environment for the Rams to play in. Now you've got teams potentially having to go there. Look, no matter who winds up being the 1 seed, both in the NFC and the AFC, we were talking about this earlier on our podcast with the insiders on NFL Network. We said it's going to be a yeah, but. And I think for the Seahawks, the yeah, but's going to be Sam Darnold. For the 49ers, yeah, but they're going to be potentially without 2 future Hall of Fame players, really, in Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, although Warner could potentially return. So I think it's going to be extremely important for those teams to get home field advantage, to play to their advantage, because there's no unbeatable team. I mean, this is going to be the most wide open postseason I think we have seen in the NFL in recent memory.
Week 18 is being treated a little differently by other playoff teams, Mike. As you know, Jim Harbaugh announcing on Monday that Justin Herbert will not be playing on Sunday for the Chargers. Can you see any other teams potentially following suit?
Yes, I could. And the the Chargers could be anywhere from the 5 to the 7 seed. So there's a significant seeding result for them that they could control, but they're deciding, you know what, the rest is more important, especially for Herbert, who's been banged up. I mentioned the Rams. That's another team that you could see maybe throttle back a little bit. I know there's some seeding possibilities for them as well. I'm looking at the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, I mean, they had that litmus test against the Bills. They've now got a game against the Commanders. They're still alive for the 2 seed. They're gonna need a loss from the Bears. This is something where maybe they do it throughout the course of the game, or maybe again, that's another team that's been banged up. They say we're going to rest some key guys, and we still feel potentially that we could beat the Commanders with some of our backups in there, maybe up to and including Tanner McKee, the backup quarterback that they feel highly about. So I'm watching the Eagles this week. If Jalen Hurts doesn't play the whole game or any of the game, I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of other guys rest. Devontae Smith needs a little bit more yardage for 1,000 yards. You could see some other guys play as well. Would not be surprised if the Eagles take a little bit off the gas here.
And don't forget, the season is ending this Sunday, and that means this Monday is Black Monday. Mike, you're going to be so busy. Potential coaches fired. Who knows what's going to happen? Either way, Mike is going to join us following the Black Monday Madness Monday night right here on SportsCenter with Jay Onrait, hopefully wearing another deep V. Thanks for this, Mike.
Maybe deeper next time.